All right. Well, there's the Mustang. It's up on blocks. Why is it up on blocks? Because we're going to pull this motor out. We're going to replace it with a brand new motor from Blueprint Engines that's already been dynoed at 425 and horsepower, 435 on torque. And as you can see, there is no wiring harness in this because I'm going to replace the stock wiring harness with a Holley Terminator X. Prior to the Terminator X, we were running the Mega Squirt, and this works great, except I want to be honest with you, I am not a tuner, so the car ran great. Everything about it was good. The idle, kind of bucky and surgy. There's a few things that I can never seem to get fixed. In the engine itself, I'm not sure what was going on with the heads, but it was always something. Well, here's the actual reason that we're replacing it. As you can see, this is a intake valve, which is in two parts. And when we pulled the upper intake off, we found this legitimately in the upper intake. So far so good, there's no damage, but I'm really impressed that I could actually find that in the actual upper intake. So not the lower, not that part, but the actual upper part, literally sitting right there. So it was kind of crazy. But anyways, so we've pulled this off. There's something I do want to go over with the 86 Mustang though. So let's do that, because I think it's a one-off on these, because the other ones I've seen don't have this. So here is the connector to the computer, and then over here you've got this relay, which you have to take the glove box off, unscrew it. It's a pain in the ass. It's a tight fit. You can get it out. Once you get it out, if you unscrew it, I don't know how you're going to ever screw it back in. It's going to take you a while. So you go up, and then here's the firewall grommet. But before you get to the firewall grommet, you can see this splits. This wire splits, and this is where the 87s and up, I've never seen them on the 87s and up that go across like this, so I think it's only for 86s, but this wire goes all the way across the top of the dash underneath, and then it drops down into the passenger kick panel. Okay, so this is the fuel pump relay. Tan, yellow, and red wires. All right. What happens is you cannot pull this out. There's absolutely no way you can pull it out unless you A, cut the wires like right here, or B, you go in and you take that red clip off in there, and then there's little tabs holding the pins in, so you can unclip them, and then you can drop this off, pull the harness out, right? And that's what I did, was I pulled it out. You got to kind of, it helps if you have another person kind of pushing while you're pulling. And then once I got it out, I just clipped it back in. The rest of it, through the firewall, everything came out pretty good. I'd done a wire tuck on this, so like this is all the EGR smog pump stuff, and then this wire here, honestly I think that's the AC cutoff. I'm not sure 100%. There's like 5 wires in that loom. That part is actually right over here. It's this wire here. It's just loose because that's part of the wire tuck I did, so I just stuffed it in there. But unfortunately, now that it's stuffed in there, I couldn't pull it out without taking the inner fender off, which I didn't feel like doing. So I cut it. I might at some point, I will at some point, actually hook that back in. So because this is a pretty good harness, everything's in pretty good, you know, for a car that's almost 40 years old, it's in pretty good shape. All right, so then the rest of it, fuel injector harness, stuff like that. Now you can see these right here are where I did my 10 pins. Okay, so I just took those apart in the other video, and that's what it looks like with the 10 pins. So obviously that's way cleaner. I don't know why Ford gave us the 10 pins in the first place, right? They could have just done this and it would have been fine. So TFI, all that good stuff, go over there. This is the stuff, this right here goes across to the other side of the engine, over to the battery stuff and grounds and things like that. So that is the whole 86 harness, and that is the one that I was going to talk about. If we go over to the as you can see, I took the carpet out. This is the actual fuel pump relay. This here is the connection. So it runs up, goes up there, comes across the top, boom, 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 and it drops back down into the other side over there, the other kick panel. Well, it's a pain to get out, but once you unclip it, it's actually not horrible. Now, this runs down here, splits off fuel pump relay. So, and then the rest of it, this is the, I'm making the assumption that this is for my emergency brake light, which clearly I have never run, so I guess I never needed it. So the carpet's out, the car's pretty clean. That's the AEM air fuel gauge that I was running with the Mega Squirt, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it hooked up. I'm going to run it in one exhaust, and then I'm going to run the other exhaust with the Holley Terminator X. That way I'll be able to see it, because I'm not planning on running the 3.5-inch gauge. I think I'm going to run it without the 3.5-inch gauge, so I'll have air fuel, and I'm planning on obviously temperature and tack and all that, running all that, wiring that up so that stuff works. It'll be interesting to see what happens when we actually take the heads off, if everything is fixable. These are those trick flow heads. I think people probably go, well, that's why they broken these. These are old ones. They're the 170s. So other than that, the car, once we get it out, we're going to clean it up and do the same thing, try and wire it up nice, get it all cleaned up. It's pretty dirty. It's got some scratches, probably repaint the engine bay, stuff like that. So next step, remove the drive shaft. See this guy underneath, it's kind of cool. There's the exhaust, there's the torque arm. So it's got the Maximum Motorsports torque arm, panhard bar, T5Z, which I'm going to keep. And yeah, so so it's a Maximum Motorsports subframe connectors, torque arm, panhard bar, your suspension, front coilovers. I like that the bottom of the engine's as clean or cleaner than the top side. So hopefully we'll get this all dialed in again. Other than that, that is bottom of the engine. We'll see how everything goes when we put everything back together. Aluminum drive shaft, which is kind of hard. These are great, except for they're huge. So when you got a torque arm with an aluminum drive shaft, I don't know how in the world I'm going to ever get that out unless I take the torque arm off, because it's it fits, but just barely. definitely a chore. So like when I'm pulling it out right now, we're going to actually pull the torque arm out, not the torque arm, but we're going to just take the drive shaft and lift it up, actually lift it up and slide it back a little bit so you can get the transmission out. Because there's really, right now, there's no way of actually getting the, I mean, I suppose I could get it, but it'd be a lot of wrestling. So that's where we're sitting at now. There's a lot of wiring harness removal stuff, so I figured I didn't need to video that, except for with the 86, like I said. That bad boy there. 87s, they must go, they must run them a different way, or they have something, a different setup altogether where they put the relay. I'm not sure. But that's it. Carpet's out. We're going to use this bad boy to see if it works. We'll test it out. I'll let you know how that goes on the next video. All right, that's kind of it up to date.